Hey, what's happening, everybody? It is Jason Thrifts, and I'm back with scores number 18. Scores of the week, that is. Forgot some words. Oh, well. What's going on? I hope everybody is well, staying safe, staying out of trouble. All right, let's jump right into it because I got a bunch of great scores to share with you. Now, if you've not seen these videos before, as it says, it's number 18. Go back and watch the first 17. These are just my scores of the week. Certain ones you'll only see right here in this small 10-minute show that I do every week on Wednesday. And these are all going to be BOLOS, things that you should be on the lookout for. Now, it pays to do an inventory because when I did an inventory, I found out that this Trader Vic's fine old rum barrel, which is actually a tiki bowl, wasn't listed. I listed it and it sold like 2 days later for $100. So make sure all your stuff is listed and accounted for. And if you see any ceramics in shapes of bowls or barrels or mugs from Trader Vic's, always stop and pick them up. All right, how about Betty Crocker? Now, we've talked about these books in the past. They are both good books to find and source. Both of these were in less than ideal condition. I mean, hey, they were well used. Butter stains, sauce stains, you know, the usual when you're making food. So I thought I'd try them together, and I got a quick return of $80, and that's what they look like. So these are two of the main Betty Crocker books that you want to keep your eyes out for. So I'll let this picture sear into your brain. Sear it. See what I did there? Mm-hmm. All right. Now, I did share this Sun Records work shirt last week on Thrifty Business. But what I wanted to add to the discussion and to point out is there's tons and tons and tons of work shirts that look like this that are often fairly generic. Two of the main companies that make them are Red Cap and Dickies. But what happens is companies will buy from Red Cap or Dickies and then make these cool shirts. So if it was just a black Dickies shirt by itself, it'd be worth about $10. But once it becomes Sun Records, then it's $48. Different story. Same thing with this Cypress Hill. This was actually a Jack Daniels shirt. Jack Daniels makes a lot of clothing, and sometimes it doesn't meet their standards. So it goes off the secondary market, and Cypress Hill used it to make this shirt. So this one was $30. So keep your eyes peeled for these shirts. They're not always black, but majority of the time they are. But oftentimes there might not be anything on the front. So as you're leafing through the racks, if you just see a plain front, don't just assume it's a plain black shirt all the way around. Look at the back of it. You might be surprised. All right, this is a new one to me. Lang & Wise. A friend of mine's moving, and they're having me sell some of their collectibles for them. They don't want or need anymore. This is the Colonial Williamsburg village, Christmas village. And so I wanted to point out a couple things. When you have things that light up, make sure to take pictures in a darker setting, lit up, and not lit up. Show both aspects of it. And here's the company on the back of the box, Lang & Wise. There it is. Yeah. Nothing on my radar until recently, and I've already sold a lot of it, and it's going very well. So Colonial Williamsburg by Lang & Wise. Mark it down. Don't forget it. All right. Oh, I forgot my little regular and music scores. Oh, well. Let's talk cassettes. I know you all love Elvis Hitler, and especially their album, Super Sadomasochistic. I practiced this a few times, too. Super sadomasochistic expialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. Yeah, you probably don't know Elvis Hitler, but their CDs and cassettes do quite well, as you can see by the $20 on this one. Where am I? And then let's talk. Flipping vinyl records, since that was my most recent music class. Danny Kerwin might not mean anything to you, but he was an early member of Fleetwood Mac. I'm sure we all know Fleetwood Mac. And these two Danny Kerwin solo CDs aren't all CDs, LPs, aren't all that exciting by themselves, but in a lot of two, they did quite well. Sold for a little over $50 directly on eBay Europe. So they're on their way to Europe right now. And I think I showed this Ramones last week on Thrifty Business, but I wanted to share it again because not everyone watches my hour show, but I hope you do. Picked this up for $16 at the used record store here in town. Sold it for $42. But this is a 2-record set, meaning there's 4 sides. But the music was only long enough to fill 3 sides. What do you do as a band when you have a side that you can't fill? Well, you do something very cool with it. So here's side 3, typical, normal record. Well, here's side 4. How cool is that? It is laser etched with their logo in it. How neat is that? So this adds, a little bit to the record. Pretty cool. But Ramones stuff always does well. Keep your eyes peeled for anything Ramones, especially on vinyl. All right, so shared this last week on Thrifty Business, the soundtrack to Possession. But what I wanted to point out again is I sold it directly on Discogs. Now, Discogs, I've talked quite a bit about on the different music classes I've taught throughout the last couple of years. And it's a good, easy place to sell, especially rare stuff. Now, I say that with a caveat because I'm going to show you something not rare that I sold in a second. But this sold rather quick on Discogs. It was less than a day, $50. Oh, and the reason I wanted to share this again was it went to Germany. And the customer wrote me a note. Hey, I got it already. It went first class to Germany, 7 days. 7 days. So the postal system is back and working just the way it should. So there it is. I sold it for $50 plus shipping. All right. Roger Williams would be your grandparents type music. But if you find it on CD and you find it sealed, you can get $30 for it. Sold this on Amazon. I paid $3.95 at a record store. And as you can see, that's $7.99. That was the original price of this CD. So, excuse me, the CD is like the stock market. You hold it long enough, it'll appreciate from $8 to $30. I love it. All right, now here's the other one I sold on Discogs this week. It is Herb Alpert, Passion Dance. And this was a multi-channel DTS surround sound. So this means that you cannot play this in your regular CD player. Has to be in a DVD player, I do believe. And what was cool was, now this only sold for $12, and that's about what it's worth. This one isn't all that exciting. But what was cool, it was going to a high rise in Miami. So I'm like, all right, let me look up where this is going, because I had it for $14 or $15. And they made me an offer of 12. Nothing wrong with that, but I thought, man, it said sub penthouse. So I'm like, man, if you're living on the second to top floor in a high rise in Miami Beach, you're haggling me for $3. So what I found out, it's a company that builds surround theater rooms for your house and your condos and stuff. And they're either getting this for a client or they're getting this to play because it's all instrumental and be good background music while you have people in your showroom. So it's so cool that this is either going to someone's house as part of their new system, or it's going to demonstrate how cool the system works. So I like when I can kind of figure out a story of why something I sold ended up in a certain space. So very excited about that. And we'll end with this. Now, if you were a teenager in the 80s, you might not remember the Dead Milkmen. They had many, many albums, but they had one big hit. It was called Bitchin' Camaro. Now, Bitchin' Camaro isn't on this album. That's on Big Lizard in My Backyard. This is Eat Your Paisley. And the record store I was at was nice enough to tell me it was out of print. That always makes me stop and look. And also nice enough to only price it at $15 when I then sold it for $90. Yes, $90. So if you have never heard Bitchin' Camaro by the Dead Milkmen, go check it out. Matter of fact, maybe I'll stick it in a link down here. It's definitely low rent in terms of quality for music back then in the 80s, but I still love that song, that album, Big Lizard in My Backyard. And listen to it quite a bit at work. So expand your horizons. Check out Dead Milkmen's Bitchin' Camaro. And speaking of checking out things, tomorrow night on Thrifty Business, this is my good friend Elisa. She started on Poshmark just under 4 years ago. And without bots, without any help, without any virtual assistance, she has organically amassed 100,000 followers on Poshmark. And the best way to sell on Poshmark is to cultivate followers. So we're going to find out exactly how'd she do it. How'd she get to so many followers in such a short window without help. So that's what we're talking about tomorrow night on Thrifty Business. So tune into Thrifty Business Thursdays on my YouTube channel, Jason T. Smith, 8 o'clock East Coast, 5 o'clock on the West Coast. And as soon as this video is over, there will be a link to tomorrow's show and a link to another show that we just did previously about flipping Catholic kitchen items. A lot to learn there. So thank you very much for tuning in. Good to see everybody. Stay safe. I'll see you around YouTube, and maybe I'll see you around the thrift store. Have a great day, everybody.